I've done deals with TV networks, sporting organizations, billion-dollar brands, and hundreds of entrepreneurs, and even randos on Facebook Marketplace. And these are the negotiation tactics that have made me hundreds of millions of dollars. And you can use them to pretty much get anything that you want in life. But instead of telling you how to negotiate, for the next 5 days, I'm gonna be rolling up my sleeves and negotiating the life of my videographer. You have applied for 3, right? How many have you looked at? How many have you shortlisted?
7 to 8.
Yeah. This is Pete, AKA Petey Pablo, my videographer. I'm gonna negotiate his life to get a new place and a new car. First up, he's looking for a new place to live in, so let's take a look at his application letter. You've customized it, which is good because you've put in the address in the subject line, and then you're telling them what you love about the property. You've done what we call bury the leads. You kind of need to get straight into the juice. It's always like, what's in it for me? That's the only thing the landlord gives a fuck about. What's going through like this landlord's mind when they lease it? It's like, are you a deranged psychopath drug addict that's gonna turn the house into like a meth station? That's worst case scenario, but the second worst case scenario is that like you come in and then you move out after 12 months and then they need to go to a landlord again and they need to rent the whole thing out, and then there's gonna be periods where there's a gap in rent and then they're gonna be paying the mortgage and blah, blah, blah. What are all their concerns? What are all of their objections? Then when you write your cover letter, it's like addressing all of those specific things. You're reliable, like you're committed to living in Melbourne. You've been in your current home for how many years? And immediately to stand out is you do this stuff. When it comes across their desk, the agency gives them like 3 applications. There's 2 that may be in a better financial position to you, or they might be a double income household. All the things that you might not have that someone might have over you, you have things over them. Yeah, they might earn a lot of money, but they might love to entertain and have all these parties and have like 3 freaking chihuahuas. I would mention just 1 or 2 lines what you like about the property and then go straight into you. Remove the I'm writing to express my sincerest interest in renting the property. That's just blah, 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 fluff. Firstly, I love the open layout. The floorboards and the U-shaped kitchen, perfect. Love the suburb. I'm fully committed to this area and I definitely want to see myself living in this suburb long term. And then a bit about me. I don't have children. I don't have pets. I don't smoke or drink. I will keep your house like a temple. What does Pete have? What are your strengths? You could say like, I'm the leading videographer at one of the fastest growing digital marketing agencies as ranked by the AFR. All these other proof things that you can't lie about. If you're able to get the other party's objections all up front before actually going into the negotiation, it just gives you a lot more power because you're doing a lot more groundwork and you're not trying to have to think about this stuff on the fly and think about what's gonna be important to them and what objections are gonna come up that I'm gonna need to handle. Then in addition, this is what we call show don't tell, even though that it is not required, but I always used to do it with all of my rental applications. Every single place that I have applied for, I got. What I would do is I would just spam them with other additional things that they're not asking for, but then just answers any more questions. So I would send them 2 photos of 2 different credit cards that I've got, my passport, my driver's license, and then photos of my current home. Because I do like to keep my current home clean, and I know that other people don't. So rather than tell them I'm a clean person, I want to show them all of those things that you talk about. Show them a photo with you and your girlfriends, and then they start to imagine, yeah, I could see that guy in my house. For a lot of people, this seems like you're going over the top. Well, that's exactly what we want to do. And this pretty much is the case for anything that you want in life, is going over and above, because that last mile is the least crowded. Everybody just does what they should do or what is expected. So naturally, if you just go completely over the top and over deliver, you're gonna stand out by definition and you'll be incredibly surprised by the results. How can I give them more value but not more money? Look at each property that you apply for and ask yourself, how much do I want this and how much am I willing to change the terms of this offer that doesn't result in me paying more money in rent. It just changes the terms and how that rent is paid, and it reduces that risk for them. Their rental term and the rental price that they're asking for, that's the offer. What a lot of people do is they go and they change that offer, and that's where like people start going in and offering more than the per weekly rental price. Let's just say that you're not in a position to spend more than what the rental price is. Am I in a position where I could pay 6 months in advance rent? Could I pay 3 months? Could I pay a larger deposit? Any other thing that's going to give them a higher level of confidence around me as an individual. In a negotiation, a lot of people think that the only thing that matters is the price, and that's just far from the truth. You've got price and you've got terms. So say for instance, if you're in the market to buy a house, it would be easy to think like all that this person cares about is the price. And sometimes that might be the case, but oftentimes it's the terms. There's multiple levers that you can pull on, and the only thing that you're trying to negotiate is the price, then you're just leaving so much other options on the table. How quickly was it taking you to apply to these properties once you walked them?
That one, exactly, I did it the next day.
Yeah. So I used to do it at the time of viewing it. They don't like leasing to people that haven't walked the property. So even if you pre-apply, the first question they ask you is, have you seen the property? And I do it while I'm there with the agent, and I confirm that I've just done it. Speed to lead, you're in there, da-da-da-da, I've applied for this, do you have any questions? So the reason that speed to lead is so important, you need to think about being in the shoes of that real estate agent. So the thing that's the most important to them, just getting this transaction done and getting it done very, very quickly. They want to put forth a candidate that is good in the eyes of the landlord, and then the deal is done, and then they move on to the next one. So if you're in that transaction very, very quickly, you're just making their life a lot easier. So if you're walking properties and then you're like, yeah, I'll get back to this person on Monday or Tuesday, and there's already 15 people that have applied on that same day, then you aren't even in the conversation. The game is over and the ship has sailed. Once you've done that, then you obviously call the real estate agent every day, because that's what they want. They want people that are really hungry and keen for it. You imagine that there's a person calling every day, and then they're like, hey, like we've had 3 applications. Yeah, there's 2 of these people. They're young, they want to party, they don't have a lot of rental history, but there's this one dude who looks really, really strong, and he keeps calling me all the time. I think you're at a 5. Yeah. And we can take it to a 10. The first half of it is too generic, and it's all about you and what you want. You need to flip that. This is why I am the perfect tenant. If you can flip the orientation of talking about them in the beginning, if you can have the visual stuff in there and then think about what are those levers that you can pull in terms of the offer and the deal, and then you do the speed to lead at the property while you're doing it, I'm confident you'll get the next place. Cool, let us know how you go.
All right, we'll do. All right, we have an update. So it says, hi Demi and Peter, hope all is well. We are processing your application at the moment. Demi, may you please provide your visa status? Thank you, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Is that addressed in the application that like you're going to be the one that's paying the rent kind of thing? You just be like, I want to make it crystal clear. I will be continuing to rent this property, even in my own capacity into the future.
When we were leaving, she said, just letting you know, you might want to apply for this like ASAP because
so go do that right now, and then call them immediately as soon as you've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it looks like we've been approved. Let's go tell the boss. Yes, we got approved.
Boom! One shot, one kill.
Here's the proof, all right? Just so you know.
Hi Peter and Demi, congratulations, your application has been approved. Money in the bank. Boom! How good's that?
It's great, man. So now I was gonna say, I gotta get a car.
This shit works on anything, it doesn't matter. Cars, couches, houses, opposite sex, maybe not opposite sex, however you want to roll, it works. That's awesome. So next up is securing Pete a car. This is a completely different game now because we are dealing with high volumed, trained professionals. I feel like I'm sending in a lamb for the slaughter because unless you really are advanced in this stuff, these guys can just bully you and push you around because they're just getting so much reps in all day long. They know how to read people, they know the levers, and they know when to push and how hard to push. We're trying to get you the best car for the minimum price. I already feel strong about the Subaru because we've got way more options and we can be way more aggressive with our negotiating, because the first rule of a negotiation is the person that's willing to walk away is the person that's in the power. You first want to call them and squeeze them as hard as you possibly can over the telephone, and then they're going to start playing all these games with you. These guys are professionals and all they want to do is to do a deal. And whatever they're willing to do on the phone, they're willing to do better when you're in person. Think about if you walk one of these lots tomorrow and you're like, yeah, I want this Subaru. What's the best you can do for price? And he comes back and he's like, I'll knock $1,000 off it. How do you know that's a good deal or not? If you already have a good indication because you've done the recon, you've called all the people up in advance, you know what's a good deal. The game is won in the research. What a lot of people do when they enter into the market, they get fixated on one car that they really like. And then that puts them in a position where they have emotions in a deal. And that's the worst place to negotiate from. You want to look at all of the available inventory that is on the market that meets your criteria. Because the more options and the more research that you've done, the more in a position of power you are. And they're trying to say, oh, that's the best price. You can point to 2 or 3 other options that are much more competitive. And then when they place you on hold, they go and speak to their manager, and then they go and do their thing, and then they come back, and then alas, the price changes because we have done the research. What you also need to consider is that they want to move units. A lot of these car yards, they're selling 50, 70, 100, even 200 cars per month. They make money in the volume and just wanting to rip through their inventory. And then you also want to state to that other person that you are a serious buyer. The first thing that they're testing you on is like, is this person a real buyer? And what is the urgency in the deal? So you'll notice here that I say, I want to buy today. This is not tomorrow, it's not next week, it's not in Never Neverland, it's right now and it's real.
This is the gist of the conversation. Is the car still available? Terrific. Would there be anything that's stopping me to coming in to buy that today? I saw this price online is $28,980. I'm a serious buyer. I'm looking at 2 other of these vehicles in the same year, similar kilometers. They're able to offer me quite a sweet price on that, but I want to hear what you guys can do. If you need to put me on hold to go speak to your manager, I'm happy for you to do that. What is the best price that you can do that come in today and buy it?
Hi there. I'm looking at a 2017 Subaru Outback that you have listed on Gumtree. I'd love to come and pick the car up today. I'm looking at a few other models as well. What's the best deal that you could do for me right now? What's your best price?
26,983.
The cheapest 2019 I can find is 28,999. This one has 105,000 and it's a couple years newer. And that's the list price as well, 28,999.
Yeah, under the 40 days, we can't move on the price, I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries then. Thanks for your time.
So this is just us doing the recon. We know with this one, if they have this 40-day policy and stuff, which they might, then he's not in a position to negotiate.
Hello, Paul, please.
Yeah, hi Paul. I'm just calling up about the 2019 Subaru Outback. I'm looking to come in and literally buy the car today. I've already test driven this car. I know this is the one that I want. And I've just been online shopping around for comparable prices and just seeing like what's out there in terms of Ks and what years. What is the best price that you can do on that if I come in and buy today?
Very best I can do with that, 28 flat on the road drive away.
The maximum that you can knock off is 1K. I'm a serious buyer. I'm not here to muck around.
That is the very best I can do.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
All right, no problems. Let me give you a buzz back. We know this guy's willing to give us 1K, the other guy's not willing to give us anything else. If you do this 3 or 4, 5 more times, then you'll figure out, okay, this guy's 1K, this guy's saying nothing, this guy's 200, this guy's 5 grand. Then it gives you an accurate picture of when you go walk those lots tomorrow, how much room that you've got to negotiate.
I'm out to buy a car today. I know this is the car that I want. I've looked at a couple of the other ones on the market at the moment. I'm happy to come today. What is the absolute best price that you can do if I come and buy it today?
We're selling this car for 27,990. We dropped it to 26,499. The reason why. What are you offering me? If it's something reasonable, more than happy to talk to my boss.
If you can do it for 24, I will come and I will sign for the car today. I'm happy to go on hold if you want to ask your boss. He straight out the gate was trying to sort out any objections. I've got a guy coming. We were selling this for like way more money. We're moving. He was like throwing every single thing he possibly could at me. So I know that their price is not the bottom price. I'm coming today to buy a car whether anybody likes it or not. Are you going to sell me the car or am I going to buy somewhere else? The whole idea is for myself to push this guy. They're instructed to tell you every single little thing so that they can manipulate the way that you think so that you don't negotiate. Here we go. All right, you rolling? Peter speaking.
Oh, look out. You got the Subaru?
I did, but not the exact one that we talked about.
What happened with this?
List price is 26,999, and he goes, "Yeah, look, it's a really good price. Like, what's your offer?" I don't want to give him the offer first.
Of course. Whoever says the price first loses.
I thought, okay, if he's really going to keep pushing that, I'm going to give him an offer, but I'm going to lowball it. So I said 24. That's all I got.
I'd love to do 24, but I can speak to him for you.
The best we can do is
25,751. That's the absolute best for you.
100%. If I come right now and I sign papers, 25 is the absolute max for me.
Why don't you come down?
Okay, I'll see you soon then. I get there and the first thing he says, spoken with the boss, we can't move on the price, blah, blah, blah. And I just fought them like an actual war. The manager was involved. He's sitting there with his arms crossed, like annoyed at me for like 10 minutes. And it's when I felt that they were starting to get pissed off
That's
with
what
me.
you know. You found that point where you can't push any further.
It came down to it. I said 25.5 or I walk out. And the manager goes, I'll let you walk out. So I saved, I think, $1,300 and something.
Boom. There you go. So it was well worth it.
I'll show you the car just so you can see it.
Very nice. Yeah, I can picture you rolling down the freeway on that to work.
Competent and silent people get ignored, and everything in life is negotiable. So it's a skill that you better get good at. Use these strategies to get anything that you want in life. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.